Hi, I'm Robbin Miller. I'm the host of Miller Chat. This is my 23rd year of production. I am very happy to celebrate it today with Dr. Patience Hemenway. Dr. Patience Hemenway is an international best-selling author, award-winning public speaker, and a wellness competency mindset coach. Patience is the founder of Patience Serenity Grove International, LLC, where she specializes in personal breath work mastery trainings. As a result of stepping onto the campus online or live, leaders like you will transition from dealing with stress, anxiety, low self-esteem, hurried living, and fear to becoming happy on demand and perform at their peak. I like that. Most importantly, her passion is to see women liberated from various obstacles life has thrown at them through community and support. Therefore, she founded the Anxiety Support Group for Women, where she has created the safe space where she was looking for once upon a time. She believes in a transformative power of women. You matter and your story matters. Her slogan is smile, breathe, and stretch. Dr. Hemenway will be talking about today on your work on anxiety and how it affects people, and some tips, as well as on children.
Yes.
Well, welcome. So, Dr. Hemenway, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Patience. I'm so happy. Thank you for having me here today.
No problem.
Thank you so much. So, about me, as you have already read, I am a best-selling author of the book Breathe With Me, A Guide to Finding Peace in the Storms of Life. So I support women in the anxiety support group who come from different walks of life. It's a global group. So we have women from all over the world, over almost 8,000 women who are daily sharing their concerns, their struggles, and then we go in there and support them in different ways. And I have a team of health. I have a wellness team that works with me in that part. I also travel across the globe. I just came back last month from Cameroon, where I held a leadership. I was a speaker at a leadership conference, A3 leadership conference. I was there for a week. So yeah, that's what we did. I'm looking forward to going to Canada for a wellness talk show also. So yes, that's how I support and help individuals. But most importantly, I am glad that we're going to talk about children today. I'm a mom of 2 kids. And yes, anxiety doesn't just deal with adults. It starts from childhood. And today we're going to see what we're going to do about that.
Yes. Well, before we go there, can you just, I was reading your book and people wrote about your story in your book. Did you want to share a little story about how you found the inner strength?
Yes.
Because I know you mentioned that in your book.
Yes. Oh, okay. So, when life happens, right, you do not know what is happening. I do not know about everybody else, but when anxiety was hitting me, I couldn't even put a name on it that it was anxiety. So here I am, I graduated from Worcester State University in 2015, and I got a new job. I was very excited, right, as a trainer, a corporate trainer. So I was doing my job, excited to meet new people all the time, training, and life was going on. I wasn't paying attention to the stress and the fast pace and the pressure that I was feeling in the environment because I was just looking at the goal. Just do the job, let's go, forget about anything, it's just part of the show. Till my body started telling me, Patience, we are shutting down. Listen to us.
Wow.
Robbin, I did not listen. So it comes to a time I'll be in the lab and I will feel my chest, my rib cage literally closing in on me. I will feel like there is an elephant sitting in my chest, my sternum area. And I would ask everyone, does anybody feel this? And of course, nobody's feeling it. We're all different, right? So I'll text my manager and let him know how I'm feeling. And I'll leave for the ER, UMass. I go there like twice a week during that time when it was happening. And I still couldn't put a name on it because when I go to triage, they hook me up, do every test, and I'm clean. I am all right.
Interesting.
So I kept going back to work and leaving in and out like that. And if you are a business owner, you wouldn't want your key person to be going in and out of the ER every other time, you know?
No, it could be quite expensive too.
It is. Yes, at that time it wasn't funny anyway. So I realized that the ER wasn't a solution for me. So what else can I do to support myself? So I reached out to a community of women, okay? I'm a woman of color, so I was the only one in my office who was a woman of color, and nobody else was feeling what I was feeling, right? I'm like, let me reach out to other people who look and sound like me so I can ask if this is just me, so I can seek the right help, because the ER wasn't helping. And I reached out and they said, yes, this is what goes on, this is what happens. So I had somewhat of, you are not alone, it is what happens, okay? Because there were external things are happening in the office that I don't want to go to in this moment right now. So they advised me on what to do, and the killer was that, oh, this is a prescription list of what we take to help us to keep going so that we overcome what is happening. And because I had my master's in biotechnology and new drug discovery, there was a course I took in school called New Drug Discovery. And Robbin, we literally, through the class, we sell the idea of illness to the market before we produce the drug, right? So that there is a market for it. So I knew what the drugs are about, and all the drugs that my friends were showing me, I have studied about it and what they can do long term. So I'm like, thank you for sharing, but I don't think that's the path I want to go on. So now ER is not working. The list they provided me is not something that I wanted to choose for myself. And I always remind people in the anxiety support group that your path is not my path. There are others who need the drugs to go on their day-to-day. It wasn't the path for me. So I'm not trying to say do not take medication or do not believe as the scientists or whatever we do. No, we are here to help somebody for a short time, okay? So I decided to ask myself, what else can I do? So one day it happened again while I was in the office. So I left the office this time, not to the ER. I drove past my office and went to a place, a neutral ground. I was crying. I couldn't, I was feeling the same pains again, and there was no solution. What can I do? And I heard a voice tell me, exhale. Robbin, I was so mad. I'm like, exhale? Not at this time. With all the pressure on me, I was crying and talking. I'm like, no, I'm not exhaling. Don't tell me that. And then I heard the voice again, exhale, just do it. Okay. So I released, okay? And then I started feeling that little relief. And the voice said, do it again, exhale again. So I took in a deep breath and exhaled again. So I did it for a few minutes. And Robbin, the truth, I felt a release. The chest that was closing on me that had kept me going to the ER was opening just by the simple exercise of breathing. I felt relieved. I went back to work, finished my day, and I kept doing it every day. Then I sat down, and I didn't want to be selfish because I knew a group of women who just told me they feel these same things, and they have a backup on changing jobs or taking medication. So I'm like, let me do more research from what I just heard in my car and learn more about it and put it together. So that is how come this book was birthed, out of my trials, out of my health challenge, which was nearly costing me my job and seeping back home into family relations, because you know, when you carry stress from work, you would take it home. You would take it to the streets. Road rage, people who didn't do anything to you.
Of course.
They feel, So that's a summary of how this work came about.
Well, I think, so that was your inner strength.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
As they say, go inner and
go
listen.
in, yes.
And that's how you develop trainings and workshops. Can you describe some of the trainings and workshops you have? I mean, you don't have to do them, but some of the trainings and workshops you have developed.
Thank you so much. So I'm highly sought after. So I go to seminars and conferences, and I help people to realize that nose that is in front of you is not to get into people's businesses, but honestly, it is for you to inhale, breathe in, and then I take them through the science of how the nose is made. The design of the nose, from the cilia, the hair-like structures in the nostrils that traps the pathogens from even getting in, and how the crevices and the shape of the nose is made to even warm up the air before it gets into our lungs. And I explain to them how the lungs is and what is going on in there. And then, because we're not just an island. It's not just about the nose and the respiratory system, but everything affects another part of the body. I explained to them how when you're having anxiety, it releases adrenaline and cortisol from your kidney, the adrenal gland on the kidney. It will release it into the bloodstream. Now your blood is pumping faster into the heart.
Right.
Overworking the heart leads to heart issues sometimes, and then it will be affecting everything else in your limbs, every part of you. So I give them a whole picture of what is happening, and of course tools to use, practical tools, easy tools to use that you can actually implement and be free.
Well, it's free. Like you said, it's free. It doesn't cost anything to breathe.
No, but you have to do it the right way, because there is a statistic that 90% of the population is breathing incorrectly.
I read that somewhere. You're absolutely correct.
Yes, incorrectly. So we are breathing, yes, but are you breathing optimally and fully to actually heal you? That's the question. So that is why people come to me and I point to go like, wow, yes. The power was in your hands all this while.
Well, you're an educator, not a mental health provider. You're an educator, highly educated on this.
Yes.
So people are going to listen to you.
Yes.
Because you lived your story.
Yes.
So you have lived experience.
Lived experience.
Which people like to hear about. All right. Well, let's shift gears a little bit.
Yes.
Let's talk about how the issue of anxiety affect children and teens. A few weeks ago, on a Facebook page we belong to, I put a video called Chasing Childhood, and it was by Beyond the Race to Nowhere, and it showed how children from all walks of life, from wealthy to middle class to working class, how they had anxiety, all types of anxiety, from addictions to obesity. And it was just showing how when kids used to play in the old days, because as I tell my son, go out and play.
Right.
He's like, where do you see kids today playing? Maybe at the 7-Eleven buying food.
Yeah.
You do see them out there buying food, right? But the problem is there's an absence of play now, as well as adult supervision. So let's talk about the kids today, why they're so, I mean, yes, anxiety is one of the number one problems for children and teens in the United States. I can't say for other countries, maybe you know more than that. So what's your take on that?
I first of all want to say thank you so much for sharing that resource, because I watched it and I was glued to it. I was watching, I'm like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to watch this and just see yourself and the role that we play in the children's lives. The part that tugged on my heart the most was when the interviewer asked them, raise up your hand if you get to play when you go home. And none of them raised their hands. It broke me. And as a parent, our intention is not to allow you to play. There's like a structure. There's a whole load of homework plus extracurricular activity. The other child who said, I go to ballet, I go to this. So every play is even structured. So it takes the fun out of it. So that was really good. So coming back to your question on what is my take on that, is that we should allow the kids. For me, this is what I'm going to say, what I work with my child, because she is an athlete and right after school, there is class to go to, all right? So this is what we came up with. We came up with a plan that she drafts what she wants to do after school, so that there's a time limit and she owns it and take responsibility. So she tells us, she gets off the bus at 3:45. So she will play she go inside, she eats. She has on her timetable, her chat, that from 4 o'clock to 5:30, she's playing. We have a playground, and she's younger. Like you said, teenagers, they're on a different level.
Yeah.
She's young, so she's able to go to the playground and jump around with her friends and even take her agility ladder. So they all exercising and playing. Parents like that. Yeah, so it's about, I think parents, we try to structure the play for the children, invite them into it, right? And ask them, what do you want us to do? How do you see play? Which play do you want?
Right.
I think it's a win-win situation, literally. So one time I was talking to one of the teachers at school, and she was like, we give them 2 options, but it's not really an option.
Right.
So you get to choose, the power of choosing and owning it. So I think that's where we should work on more as parents, so that we'll give them the chance to know that play is your time to play. However, when it's over, let's honor the time that the play is over and get back to the other structured parts of your day instead of taking it totally away from them, and making the playtime also structured, that even though they are ballet or they are whatever they're doing now, they are stressing about it because there's a time limit on it.
Where did that all come from, where play went out the window?
Whew.
What happened is they're claiming that kids are not supervised anymore. Is that one of the reasons? I don't know.
I do not know. When I was playing, I grew up in Ghana in West Africa, okay? So I came to the United States after my bachelor's degree in microbiology. So I got to play outside, and there was no adult supervision. We just go outside, play. When the street light come on, you go back inside, take a shower, and eat. No parents were standing there to watch you. Everybody was watching out for each other. So I do not know what has gotten the children currently out of play mode. At school, there is a supervision when you go to recess. Teachers are watching you. And at home, I live in a neighborhood where we also have to stand there and watch our children whilst they play. So it is unfortunately the society, maybe because of kidnapping or child trafficking, for example, to be honest, right? When they tell me they want to go outside and play, I go through the whole protocol of just be careful, don't jump. If someone calls you, you don't come back home. I have to go through the whole scare tactics, which no one ever told me that when I was growing up, go play and give me all the rundown. No, they're like, go. So I do not know. We're living in fear now, and fear comes back to anxiety and releasing all those chemicals into our system. So basically, we the adults are afraid of another adult. In where I grew up, adults look out for each other.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
Yes, like you know that when my child goes out and see Auntie Robbin outside, Auntie Robbin, she's cool. She's gonna take care of her and him, and no reason to be afraid that she's alone. It's a community. Now it's like each one in the society, each person is for themselves. So, and the other parent is probably, like you said, they're gonna call you, where are your parents? Instead of going like, come back home. Right. They ask, where are your parents? So things have changed. Community is not as it was anymore.
I agree. I grew up in the 70s in an apartment building. We're working class, and we used to go out. We knew about safety. Yeah. We watched for each other. And then when I came to New England as an married adult, I used to drive, and I said, well, where are the kids? You know, when I used to go to Worcester on business, I would do home visits. I would see the kids playing, and I said, is there something different between a suburban and a urban? And of course there is, obviously, with income. Suburban kids tend to do more that structured activity, you know, karate and lacrosse and baseball and everything you can think of. And a lot of the urban kids just don't have the funds. Yeah. So there's definitely some class issue with that. Yeah. But the kids in the city are more vigilant, though. That's what I'm finding. They watch out for each other. They know. The suburbs, I think, like you said, there's such the fear and the anxiety. Yes, I have to read my son the Riot Act. He's going to be 13. And, you know, he's adopted. He's a kid of a biracial child, so I have to tell him, you know, as you get older and you start walking and riding, you know, just be aware for yourself that you may be pulled over. Yeah. No mother wants to tell their child that. No. But I had to tell him. I just want him to be safe. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a different mindset. So you have two kids. Yeah. So when they get anxious, how do you tell them to calm down?
That's a good question. Yeah. I want to give props to the teachers. They feed them a lot. Not food though. I mean, with strategies and things to do. So they use them at school, and it's so beautiful. So when they get home, they think it's a different line. So I go like, you remember all the things that you have already learned at school? Bring them home and do them too. And me being a breathwork coach, I help people to calm down. So they learn from my example. They see me doing it for me, and then with my clients all the time. So they know, and I have the model, anatomy model at home. So I get to explain to them everything that is going on. And then I break it down to a little child's level, because there are different resources out there that you can read. Right. So for Grace, my daughter's name is Grace, I ask her, what are the 3 things that you prefer for your coping skill when you are getting anxious? She likes music, so her big brother bought her headphones. Nick got her headphones, so she listens to music. She loves to read. She goes to the Shrewsbury Public Library with a tote bag and gets all the books. Yep. So she escapes through reading, and also she loves to exercise. Physical exercise helps her to do that. And she adds on breathing. So she knows how to, through karate, she learns how to meditate and then breathe to calm herself down. So that's what she uses. And my son, he counts backwards to 10 to calm down and then go on ahead and do what he wants to do. So we use you have to keep it very simple and let the person understand the why behind it.
Yeah. They have to buy it.
Yes, a buy-in, that's true.
Yeah. Because, the thing is that the stats show that statistically speaking, teens and college students are stressed.
Oh, yeah.
The traditional age population, 18 to 25. And, because I work in the college, so I see it. As soon as I teach in the classroom, as soon as I say test, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Everybody gets nervous.
Yeah. I think we should eliminate that word from the dictionary, test. Yeah. People can be doing the same work you gave them. As soon as you say test, they forget. Yeah. And even with adults, it's not just children.
What?
I had to take my driving test 3 times just because it was a test. And the lady at the front of it was like, don't answer everything. Just answer the ones you know, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So something about tests. So even my child who is in 4th grade, she feels test anxiety. So I printed out a assessment for her, for me to see where she's at. And she was stressed. You will not know. Parents just take the time and talk them through it because it's a mental block. The brain, we have the limbic brain, that is the part of the brain that holds on to the emotions of afraid to fail and all that. So when that is activated, the intellectual part is subdued, which is the prefrontal cortex. So you want to calm them with the breathing technique. It will allow them to be able to calm down the emotions so that the intelligence can come up and realize that they still have power. Yeah. You have studied this the whole year. You got this. And give some words of affirmation too. Right. Speak into them, because in their mind, they are speaking down to themselves. They are saying all the things that are not. And you as a parent just need to stand by them and speak life to them at the moment when they're down. It's challenging, but that is the time that we are called as parents to shine and put our cape on and go you got this. I believe in you. Just do your best. Try it out. And these things that I'm saying, I say it not just for tests, but also for sports, because for karate, it's an individual sport.
Yep.
So you have to stand there by yourself, and it's like a test too. Everybody watching you. So we have to keep encouraging and keep reminding them of the tools that they already have. Always go back to basics. Breathing is very basic. Just give yourself, as a beginner, 2 minutes. 2 minutes of breathing, Robbin, does magic. And adding onto it for adults, you can add power poses. You can do the Wonder Woman pose,
of course.
Whatever poses you want, add them. And it will just, you remember when you read about my slogan, smile, breathe, and stretch? There is a trick to smiling. Even if you don't feel like it, once you smile, there is a research for that I can provide. You activate the muscles and they tell the brain that we cool, release the feeling good muscle hormones for us so we can be better. So it's a trick. Just keep smiling and the anxiety and the stress will go down.
It's like when I see my dog smile.
Yes, imagine that.
They smile too.
Yeah.
And people are starting to notice more about pups.
Yeah.
They smile they're smiling.
Yes. And smile is so contagious. When you smile, someone will smile back. Someone. Even across the grocery store, someone will smile back. Yeah. And you never know what you've done to them.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So in the 5 minutes we have, let's talk about your next project. What's coming up?
Oh, coming up, thank you. I have this passion project that I'm doing. I want people to now share with me what they have experienced, their experience using breath work.
Okay.
Because everyone has used something, but this I want people to share a time in their life where they used breathing to help them get out of a situation. I started this in March, after I had I was a speaker at a seminar, breath and meditation, and then I invited them. It was so successful. People were so excited about the techniques that I shared. So I said, now is your time. People need to hear your story. Because when the expert is always talking, people go like, oh, she's making it up. But I want people to also go like, yes, I used it and it worked. Because I hear it all the time, testimonies from clients and people in the anxiety support group saying, these techniques work. So I said, send me your stories. Let me put it together, because that's what I do. I help people put books together so their stories can reach more people. So this book that is here is called Overcomer. How She Overcame. Is a compilation with 13 women from other countries where they shared their stories on other things. So this was a paid project, but I'm doing the passion project where it's free. People should just send their stories on how they have used breathing to overcome any stressful situation in any aspect of their life. I've received wonderful stories, amazing one, and I can't wait to put them all together and give it out to the world so somebody else will see real life stories and how they used breathing to overcome it.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it myself in many things in my life. And the thing is that, like when I had surgery in February 1st, they didn't know whether I had cancer or not until I even got there and they put me out. So all I did while I was waiting, I was just breathing. What else can I do?
Yeah.
What else can I do?
Yeah.
And then I had my cell phone with me, and I was reading Louise Hay's Positive Thoughts.
Right.
So when you don't know what you're up against, what else are you going to do? You can choose to scream and carry on, have a tantrum, or you could do like you say, breathe, be positive, because what else is there to do?
Yes. Yes.
Right? Try to tell kids that, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's really important, the breath. We just don't know or attune to it.
Right.
So do you have anything else you want to share on the time we have? We have about 2 minutes.
Yes. I want to final word is why the breathing and what it is actually doing. So there are lots of things to talk about, but I want to break it down really smoothly. There are 2 things that are happening. There are 2 pathways. There is the sympathetic nervous system, the one that makes us ready to fight or flight, that is making you, whenever you're anxious, that part is activated. Your pupils dilate and you are just ready to, all the blood rushes from your digestion into your limbs so that you can either run or just fight, okay? So whenever you are anxious, remember that is what is happening. But when you breathe consciously, trained breathing that you can use, you will be activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is for rest and digestion. So it brings everything back into your inner core so you can calm down and take the next best step. Once you calm down, your precortical cortex, your brain activates, your thinking brain activates itself, and you can take the right decision. If you are anxious, you will take the wrong decision. So I just wanted to say those 2 things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have less than a minute. Do you want to give up your website or anything like that?
Oh, yes. You can get a free chapter of this book on my website, PatienceSerenityGrove.com. PatienceSerenityGrove.com. Go there right now. The first line, it will tell you if you want a free copy, just enter your information and you get a free copy of it, okay? And if you want to email me, you have questions, you're excited about this and you want to know more, go ahead and email me at PatienceSerenityGrove@gmail.com. So it's the same thing, PatienceSerenityGrove.com or PatienceSerenityGrove@gmail.com. It's all one word.
Well, thank you, Dr. Hemenway. This is Robbin Miller. I thank Dr. Patient Hemenway for coming on my show today.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. See you next month.